Hey guys, we have a slight snag. The seller doesn't want to sign the paperwork. Hey Shanti babes, and welcome back to another video.
Hello stranger, it's been a minute since we last kicked it.
So I want to do this video before it was too late. I want to do this video, a similar video to the same process when I was buying my car, my BMW, but I never got around to it. So this process was even more trying than that process. So I definitely want to do a sit down video and kind of just tell you guys how it was a nightmare purchasing this beautiful $500,000 house that I did at 22 years old. And without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. Guys, on the patio, and it is a little warm outside, so forgive me if my face looks a little glowy. That's probably why. Yeah, I don't mean to make this video by any means in any form of a bragging way, but considering where everything started to where we are now, it is a complete 360, like beyond 360. And I just feel like I just wanted to make this video because it's not always as glamorous as YouTube always makes it seem, where it's like, boom, I got my house. It's so far from that. So let me just get into the nightmare that was this house. So let's do a little story time here. The whole house hunt originally started, Logan and I were actually just gonna rent a house because I was having issues with the apartment that we were in. We were having issues with the office, and I was just like, you know what, Logan, I'm just sick of it. The apartment was just looking, I mean, it still is looking just nuts and crazy because, you know, it's an apartment. We have 3 animals. We have a lot of stuff. We were like, listen, it's time to upgrade. And I was like, you know what, instead of renting for another year or two, let's just buy a house. And then we started looking at houses, and as you guys know, or if you don't know, the house market right now is insanely high. Okay, like home 25,000 to like over 100,000 over asking. It's just ridiculous, and homes are just really expensive right now for what you get. And I was like, you know what, Logan, it's too expensive, let's just rent. He was like, nope, we're gonna buy. So what's crazy is the house that we ended up purchasing was actually one that my dad and I looked at when I was way back in high school. And I remember being like a really nice house and all, and it's just like, you know, like, wow, I brought my friends here, like it'd be such a flex, like, you know what I mean? But we didn't end up purchasing the house and whatever. So full circle, like years later, as Logan and I are looking for our house, this one pops up, and it's just like, I was just looking at it like, this house looks a little familiar. And it was, obviously. And I was just like, Logan, like this house it's beautiful. Banging in the back, we're doing work. This house is a full renovation, so we're doing work in the back. I'm so sorry for the banging. But when we looked at this house, we're already so busy with our business, right? So when I looked at this house, I was just like, this is a lot. Like, it's a beautiful home for what you get, for what it's worth. This is definitely gonna pan out, no matter, you know, the renovations and everything we put in it. It's gonna be worth it, versus all these other homes that we bought on the market. It's just not gonna be worth it. And we were just like, dang, like, can we even get this house because of the price? And it's just like, you know, because we own a business and just different things. Like, our business just completely like grew every year, so our financials like just look different like every year. It's almost like a new business every year. And comes the fun part, which was the financing, which wasn't fun at all. It was literally, this was the worst thing ever. Okay, so long story short, when we first called about this house, the person, one of the listing agents picked up, and they were like, this house is a nightmare, it needs so much work, blah blah blah, it's a wreck, it's a war zone, the person was a hoarder, you know, it's just dirty, blah blah blah. And like, first Logan and I were like, maybe we shouldn't go look at the house. But then we looked at it, and I was just like, wow. Because I'm usually one, I love turnkey, and I like that modern look. And I know, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of work to be doing all this. But even me, I'm like, I see the potential in this house. This house is freaking beautiful. I know when we put all of our final touches and our finishes on it, it's going to be bomb. So I was like, you know what, Logan? We're just gonna go for it, okay? And we waived a lot of things. We waived the inspection report and just other things, and we were just like, you know what, let's go for it, because we already were pre-approved and everything like that. So time comes, we literally we go back and forth with the counter and blah blah blah. So that literally only took like a few days. Like, the whole process was like boom boom boom. After we said, okay, we want the house, it was like boom boom boom. So here comes the fun part. We're started to close on the house, okay? And here comes the financing department. The person who pre-approved us for our house said, hey, your numbers aren't quite adding up. We can't approve you for this mortgage. And Lynn and I are sitting here like, what do you mean the numbers don't add up, sir? We gave you all the numbers. What do you mean they don't add up? Like, that's not on us, that's on you. Listen, long story short, and he's like, he in his head thought we gave him like a whole different set of numbers, and we didn't. But even the numbers that he thought that we gave him didn't work out. So Logan and I are just sitting here like, oh my gosh, like how the heck are we gonna get this house? We're already in escrow, and now we're having problems with our like finances. Like, how does this even happen? Like, how does one get to this step and have this problem? So he was giving us a whole like litany of options of all these crazy things that we had to do to purchase the home. And Logan and I were just like, oh my god, like this is not going to be possible. Like, there's no way we're going to be able to do this in this short amount of time. And the trickery and the like the backwards and the circles and stuff that he had us going through like just didn't make sense. And we were just like, no, I don't know what to do. We called a realtor. I was like, listen. And I was like, we held it off for a few days because we were kind of embarrassed, because it's like how do you let us go and close and we still have issues with our financing? So we finally called the realtor after like a few days of this going back and forth with our mortgage lender. We're going back and forth with him. She's like, listen, you guys should have called me sooner. Like, I have a mortgage person, like she helps me all the time, blah 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 blah. Because it's a little bit harder as entrepreneurs. It's not as like easy. It's not as easy to go like if you had a salary, a 9 to 5, whatever, you know what I mean? Because you have a salary that's a set pay every single year. Like I said, every single year in a business, it's like choom choom choom, like it goes higher and higher. So it's just like every year it's like a different business, which I get. I can see how that can be a little apprehensive from the bank standpoint. It just would have been nice to know before we already were in escrow. All right, mosquito, you can go. Before we were already in escrow and we already like purchased the house without us having the finances to back it up. So not on our end, on their end. But anyway, so she hooked us up with another mortgage person, and then she was giving us our option. She's like, all right guys, you have one option. This is the option that we can do. It's Tree Frog. Come on, Tree Frog. I'm not gonna ruin the video, Tree Frog. There's no way. Alright guys, so I guess we're gonna have to battle with nature as well. But she's like, listen, the mortgage person, the realtor's mortgage person was like, we only have one option. This is the only option we can do. Mind you, Logan and I were already under contract and we were going to set to close in like literally like 2.5 weeks. She's like, this is the only option we can do because you guys are a business, blah blah blah. This is what we can do. And Logan and I were looking at these numbers that she was giving us because we were only expecting to do a certain down payment, but because of the way that our business and stuff is set up, she's like, no, you actually have to do like this down payment. So Logan and I were sitting here like, again, this is another hurdle. Like, I don't even know if we can do it. And it's like, not only that we had to do this down payment, we had to like had all these reserves and stuff in our account too. And Logan and I again are sitting here like, we're already in escrow. We were only expecting to have to put this down. Now you're telling me we gotta put this down? So, by literally the grace of God and our business, we were able in like a 1.5-month time frame. Mind you, we didn't really have any like crazy savings or anything like that, but we were blessed and able to in like a 1.5 months, because we were able to also extend closing. And we were able to come up with the finances to purchase the house. Now you would think that's where the story ends, but it's not. We had a lot of problems with the house physically before we even got into the house. We knew the house had a lot of work and a lot of issues, but like it had a lot more than anticipated. So that also pushed back things. And then the mortgage person, like the bank, had somebody called the underwriter, and that person flagged certain things like the pool and other just safety components in the house. And so that had to be addressed. So like we had all these intermittent issues while we were in the process also of closing, and people that were selling the house didn't want to do anything, even though like some of the stuff was vital to the house. And Logan and I were sitting back like, oh my gosh, like is this about to fall through because they're not budging, and just things are not, because we already let a lot of things go by, okay, because the house is kind of as is, but there's just certain things. No, Bug, you're not gonna do this to me. The fucking bees. I can't stand bees. And there were just a lot of deeper issues with the house, and they were like, you know what, it's as is, we're not gonna do anything. So again, by the grace of God, this is another obstacle. When I say these were obstacles, they were obstacles. Mind you, we still had a business that we were running full time. So it's like we're dealing with both of these things. We're dealing with all these emotions. Like, can we get the house? Can we not get the house? We're waiting day to day for different phone calls. Like, are we good? Is this good? You know what I mean? Like, is the finances good? Like, can we do this? Like, what do we need? Like, it's... To say it was a lot and stressful and overwhelming would be an understatement, especially considering how easy this process originally felt. And I was like, you know, we got approved. We had the money for the down payment, like no problem. And it was just gotta be like boom, bada bing, okay, we signed in 3 weeks. And that's literally how smooth it originally started. And that's how we thought it was gonna go. And when I say I was sitting here like back way in April when we were signing the paperwork, like this is gonna be like the beginning of April. Like no, it was the end of March we signed this paperwork. And then the closing day I think was April 29th. So I'm sitting here like, this is gonna be so easy. Mind you, now it is like May 26th, like 2 full months later, because closing got it. I'm gonna get into this. Closing got extended like 2 to 3 more times. But when I say it was a nightmare, it was a nightmare. It was just a lot of stress and a lot of things to deal with while we were doing it. And when we first, like I said, initially started, it just felt like this was gonna be a piece of cake. And in my head, I was like, this is like, why does everybody say buying a house is so hard? Like, this isn't even that bad. Like, this is so easy. I'm like, buying my car was more stressful than this, because buying my car was a whole nother story time. But this is way too easy. And then boom, bada bing, we got hit. And there you go. There's mistake one, guys. Don't ever think something, well, I mean, I don't think that's just like a flaw. Like, don't ever think something's too easy. Or maybe when something's too easy, raise your eyebrow. I don't know. Listen, I don't know, because we went from hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. So after the sellers finally kind of worked with us a little bit on certain things are back on sale. Okay, we were back on sale. We're like, okay, we're cruising towards the closing day, even though we had a few more hiccups and bumps in the road. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the details. We had a few more hiccups and bumps after those hiccups and bumps. So then comes our closing week. So literally a few days before closing, our mortgage person reaches out to us and they're like, hey, the banks need this and this from you, and they need more information from you. The title got delayed, things got delayed. Closing is not going to be until like next week, the following week, which was, we signed I think 2 days ago technically. And Logan and I are like sitting here like, you know what I mean, like, because mentally we're ready to get in the house. We pre-prepped all of our body butters and stuff, so we were ready to get in the house on Friday, May 20th of closing. And we're like, okay, now you're telling me we're not gonna be able to get into it on like Monday or Tuesday. This is how we're gonna start the week after closing was already pushed back, because we had to push back closing so many times because they had to fix other things in the house. So we had to push it back again, and we're just sitting here like, but thankfully our realtor is insane. Like, she did a bomb job. Bruh, all these bees, the sun's about to set. Why are y'all still out? It's about to be cold. So our realtor did a bomb job, and she was like, listen, I'm gonna get you guys pre-occupancy. I'm gonna let you guys get in on Friday, because like Logan and I already had the dumpster and stuff set up, and we got a big ass 30-yard dumpster that's already filled. And we're just sitting here like, all right, bet, like, we can get this dumpster and we still can go on Friday. That's fine, because we can't close. That's fine. But like, in my head, here goes my head again. In my head, I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I can't actually celebrate, even though we had keys and stuff to the house on Friday. I'm like, I feel like I can't actually celebrate. Get away, stupid ass bee. Okay, anyway, I feel like I was telling Logan, I'm like, I feel like we can't even like celebrate, even though we got the keys technically on Friday. I'm like, I feel like we can't even celebrate until I have this paperwork in my hands, until I have the actual keys in my hand, because I feel like this is like a game. Like, this has just been one sadistic, drawn out game. And Friday comes and we demo out the whole house. When I say we gutted the entire house, we gutted the entire house. And it's like, okay. Saturday comes, literally the day after we got the dumpster and the day after we gutted the house. Mind you, on Friday, Logan and I spent thousands of dollars worth of supplies for the house. Okay, Saturday comes, a realtor calls us and says, hey guys, we have a slight snag. The seller doesn't want to sign the paperwork. What do you mean the seller doesn't want to sign the paperwork? What do you mean the seller doesn't want to sign the paperwork? We're like, 3 days to close. And I'm sitting here on the phone like, we demoed out this entire house. how can she just not sign the paperwork? Like how does one do that 3 days before closing? How does that happen? She's like, you know what, we're gonna get it situated, you know, don't even worry about it. So now the whole weekend, now the rest of the weekend, Logan and I are sitting here panicking, like what are we gonna do? We just spent thousands of dollars on all the stuff for the house. We demoed out the house, and now she doesn't want to, she may not sign the paperwork. And like, this sounds like we made all this up, but when I say this has been the reality of our life this last 2 months while dealing with the business, this has literally been the reality of our lives these last 2 months. Like, think how crazy that is. We already were in the house, we got the pre-occupancy, we signed it, everything was good, just for her to say that the seller didn't want to sign the paperwork for the house, the deed to the house. So mind you, we were a few days of closing, so this is something that I stress about all weekend. When I say this lady literally signed the paperwork the day before signing, she signed the paperwork a day before signing. So just to add that extra little climax, just to cement that in, she signed it the day before closing, the night before closing, not the day, the night. So Logan and I literally were stressing and guessing all the way until then, because in our heads we're like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna have to move closing again, and that's if this lady even signs it. And we were still doing work in the house, mind you, because we already started. So it's like, why the heck stop? Worst case, we're gonna charge her for cleaning or whatever. Like, I don't know. Long story short, by a miracle, by the grace of God, by the universe, somehow, some way, Logan and I were able to get into this house. And when I say anything is possible, anything is possible. Were you on the porch?
Huh.
I feel like I hear creaking on the porch about our mess of a situation. I feel like I missed out a lot of details. No, heck no, it's not live. But come say hi. So yeah, we can film outside now.
I know.
Come here, sweetie. Did we do it?
We did it. That's my sweets.
By craziness?
Love you.
By craziness, right?
Yeah, it was a crazy nut house.
Yep.
Oh, there's your chlorine.
Yep.
My mom said that's 2 days old. It's fresh.
Ooh.
Fresher the better, they said.
We can't put it in yet, right?
Maybe whenever we get that piece.
Okay. Our pool's currently a swamp. Hopefully we can get that situated without it having to be the the worst outcome, the most expensive outcome. But yeah, long story short, guys, it was very climatic, very much reality TV show, like just very much just drama filled chaos all throughout the process. And like, mind you, Logan and I like had to like do things at the house too before we had the house. Like, we had to fix the toilet, like we just had to do things. And it's just like, this whole process was so like abnormal, but somehow, some way we were able to do this at the age of 22 and 26 over there. So yeah, we are slowly building our empire. We're building our body butter empire. So if you guys are new to the channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I want you guys to see this whole entire journey with us, with me. And if you go back a few years, you'll see us like literally 2 years ago, we just got our apartment. Mind you, that apartment we never thought in a million years we'd be able to afford, and we were able to get that apartment. And now fast forward, we're in this massive house. Like, excited. So content will keep coming. The moral of the story is never give up. Anything's possible. Like, and I hate to sound so cliche, but when I say, like, so many times during this process, like just mentally and physically, this is what I mean by Logan and I. We just kept going. We kept going. We didn't even think we could do what we did, and we did it, if that makes any sense. And we did it. I know a lot of people would fold and crack under pressure, but no, kept going, kept pushing. Days like we would like literally rip at each other's necks because we were so stressed, and we were able to do it. So whew, feels good. Feels good. The house doesn't really feel like a house yet. It looks crazy. It's gutted out. We're definitely working on things, so please stay tuned for our house renovation series. Your girl has been working on a lot of things. I hate doing physical labor, so I might have to cut it back these next few days, and I think I'm just gonna stay at home and work on a lot of content. But yeah, leave the physical labor to my boyfriend over there. Say hi, sweets. Look at that sunset. Ooh. Overlooks the tennis court down there. Tennis court's down there. And he's cleaning up the swamp of a pool. But yeah, Shanti babes, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and to stay tuned for more house renovations, entrepreneurship, all that fun stuff. And watch Logan and I continue to build our body butter empire, and very soon we will be expanding that. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. If we can do it, you can do it. Bye, Shanti babes.